2 weeks ago in Miami, Homelander became the first ever champion of the Pistain Cup Series, and now that's all out the window. New drivers, new teams, and a new season of Pistain Cup Series. And it all starts right here at the Daytona 500. The two rookie drivers of Jeff Davison and Willie Nelson will lock out the front row here at Daytona. And our defending Daytona 500 champion, Soldier Boy, will start from 7th today.
All right, all right, all right. Gentlemen, start your engine!
The two rookies, Willie Nelson on the outside, Jebediah Davis on the inside, and as the pace car goes down pit road. Soldier Boy won the Daytona 500 last season. Who will dethrone him? Who will win the Daytona 500? As we go underway for Season 2 of the Pistain Cup Series. These two rookies looking to win in their very first race in the Pistain Cup Series, as they're now 3 wide for the lead of the Daytona 500. Richard Hammond trying to pass Jebediah Davis on the inside lane. Jebediah Davis is all alone in the middle lane, and he'll go down to block Richard Hammond. Jebediah Davis trying to pull away from Willie Nelson. He's got a car length lead over Willie Nelson for the lead. Now Richard Hammond has passed Willie Nelson for second place, and Jebediah Davis goes to the top lane. And now Richard Hammond and Jebediah Davis are side by side for the lead of the Daytona 500. Both of these drivers trying to look for the very first win in their careers. And our Season 1 champion, Homelander, sends it 3 wide for the lead of the Daytona 500. Jebediah Davis all alone on the top lane, and no one will help him. Richard Hammond and Homelander have passed him. As the leaders come out of turn 4, Homelander, our Season 1 champion, is going to lead the very first lap of Season 2. Homelander leads the first lap at the Daytona 500. And Soldier Boy passes Richard Hammond for second place. Homelander and Soldier Boy will be first and second at the Daytona 500. The rivalry between Homelander and Soldier Boy continues here at Daytona. Last season, Soldier Boy won the Daytona 500 with a photo finish with his son, Homelander. Homelander finished second place and has still not gotten his first win. At Miami, it was the same story. Soldier Boy winning the race and Homelander coming in second place. Can Homelander finally get revenge on his dad? And the rookie, John Cena, will be side by side with Soldier Boy, our Daytona 500 champ from Season 1, are side by side for second place. 3 wide for 5th place. And John Cena has passed Soldier Boy for second place. Now Mike Ehrmantraut side by side with him for 3rd place. Homelander will lead the first 2 laps of Season 2 and the Daytona 500 as John Cena will go to his inside for the lead. Side by side and Homelander will lead lap 2, but it's not enough to keep the lead as now John Cena will take the lead of the Daytona 500. As leaders enter turn 1 and John Cena will lead Mike Ehrmantraut side by side with Homelander. And now John Cena and Mike Ehrmantraut, the two rookies, are first and second at the Daytona 500. These two rookies trying to win in their very first Pistain Cup Series race. McQueen passes Homelander for 3rd place, and for Homelander, he looked like he was going to win his very first race, but it's all falling apart. Richard Hammond side by side with him for 4th place. Richard Hammond, Sergio Bell, and Soldier Boy are 3 wide for 6th place at the Daytona 500. And the two Phantom Motorsports teammates, so Jeremy Clarkson and Richard Hammond on the bottom lane trying to pass Homelander. Soldier Boy losing a lot of positions on the top lane, and now James May enters the top 10. Phantom Motorsports has 3 drivers in the top 10 as John Cena will lead us on lap 3 of the race. That's the first time he's led a lap in his Pistain Cup Series career. The two teammates of Richard Hammond and Jeremy Clarkson working together. Now Clarkson goes to the inside of his teammate, Richard Hammond. And the top 3 drivers will abandon Richard Hammond and block Jeremy Clarkson on the inside lane. Richard Hammond, falling in 5th place, will try to block LeBron, but he doesn't have enough time. He's now stuck on the top lane. John Cena, in his very first race, is leading the Daytona 500. He's trying to get his team, Rock Hard Racing, their first ever victory. Clarkson goes to the inside lane. Will anyone help him on the bottom lane? Clarkson will be side by side with McQueen for 3rd place, and John Cena and Mike Ehrmantraut go to the bottom lane to help Clarkson. And for Clarkson, he's got 2 teammates, Richard Hammond and James May behind him, trying to draft with him on the bottom lane. James May will go to the top lane. Clarkson goes to the inside of Mike Ehrmantraut, and John Cena will lead lap 4 of the Daytona 500 and goes to the bottom lane to block Jeremy Clarkson. Ehrmantraut and Clarkson side by side for 2nd place, and Cena moves up to block Ehrmantraut. Will this leave the door open for Jeremy Clarkson as now John Cena will move back onto the bottom lane. Clarkson and Ehrmantraut side by side for 2nd place. Ehrmantraut losing positions. Clarkson passes him for 2nd place. Now McQueen passes him for 3rd place. Now he's side by side with Richard Hammond for 4th. The two teammates of Clarkson and Hammond are now in second and fourth. McQueen will go to the inside of Jeremy Clarkson for second place at the Daytona 500. And Richard Hammond goes to the top lane to help his teammate Jeremy Clarkson try to pass Lightning McQueen. McQueen and Clarkson, two playoff drivers from season 1, battling it out for second place. And Lightning McQueen will pass Jeremy Clarkson for second place in the race. And for John Cena, he's now fought 3 playoff drivers from last season, including the season 1 champion Homelander. As we now head to lap 6, John Cena still in the lead of the Daytona 500. Queso side by side with Jeremy Clarkson for third place. Now Queso has passed Jeremy Clarkson for third place. And McQueen tries to go to the outside of John Cena for the lead of the race, but it's going to backfire for him. He's losing positions. He's side by side with Queso. And now the number 1 draft pick of the season 2 draft, Queso, has gone into second place. The 2 rookies of John Cena and Queso, first and second in the race. The 3rd pick in the draft, John Cena fending off the 1st pick of the draft, Queso. Both trying to prove that they're the best rookie of season 2, and both trying to win their very first race. And Mike Hunt will pass Lightning McQueen for third place. McQueen was side by side with John Cena for the lead, and now he's getting passed by Sergio Bell for 4th place, and now LeBron James for 5th place. And Mike Hunt will go to the inside of Queso for 2nd place at the Daytona 500. Hunt and Queso side by side as we go to lap 7 of this race. And John Cena will lead his 5th lap of the race. And Sergio Bell will move the bottom lane to help Hunt take the lead. Now John Cena goes down to block Hunt, and Hunt will pass Queso for 2nd place in the race. Sergio Bell now passing Queso for 3rd place. Queso is losing multiple positions. And the 2 tax evasion racing cars of Cage and Ben Roethlisberger on the bottom lane trying to work together to get into the top 10, and 4 Phantom Motorsports cars on the top lane, all in the top 16. A lot of teammates working here together, just outside of the top 10. And Cage has entered the top 10. He's side by side with Oppenheimer for 9th. Can he get his teammate Ben Roethlisberger also in the top 10? Some 3-wide racing here at Daytona. Coming off of turn 4, John Cena will lead us to lap 8 of this race, and LeBron James goes to the inside of Sergio Bell. John Cena and Hunt go to the bottom lane, and John Cena will lead his 6th lap of the race. Sergio Bell and LeBron side by side for 3rd place. And EDP will go to the inside lane as we head to turn 1. Sergio Bell rapidly losing positions on the top lane. His bottom lane is clearly the better lane right now. LeBron will go to the inside. He's going to try to pass Hunt for 2nd place. EDP will follow him. They're going to both be on the bottom lane trying to draft together to get the lead of the race. And John Cena will abandon Hunt and go to the bottom lane. And now in 1st and 2nd place will be John Cena and LeBron James, the 2 rookies, 1st and 2nd in the Daytona 500. Coming out of turn 4, and John Cena's been unstoppable. He'll lead yet another lap at the Daytona 500. Will he get the bonus for most laps led? EDP will go to the inside of LeBron James as we head to lap 9. They're side by side for 2nd place. And John Cena will move to the bottom lane. He'll block EDP 445. LeBron's now losing a lot of positions on the top lane. And now Cage and Ben Roethlisberger pass him. And the 2 Tex Evasion Racing teammates, Cage and Ben Roethlisberger, enter the top 4, and now EDP will go to the inside of John Cena for a lead of the Daytona 500. EDP won at Walmart last season. Can he get a 2nd win here at the Daytona 500? The 2 tax evasion cars helping John Cena on the top lane. Can he pass EDP? They're still side by side for the lead, and EDP will gain the lead at the Daytona 500 as they come off of turn 4. John Cena has led 6 laps, but now EDP will lead his very first lap of season 2 the Daytona 500. As we head to lap 10, and John Cena is still fighting for the lead, trying his best to try to pass EDP for the lead, but he's side by side with Ryan Reynolds for 2nd place as we enter turn 1. EDP has a car length lead over John Cena. As we exit turn 2 and onto the backstretch, EDP goes out to block John Cena. We'll see if this move works out for him. Ryan Reynolds getting help from Walter White to push him to the lead of the Daytona 500. As they enter turn 3, EDP and Ryan Reynolds side by side for the lead. And Ryan Reynolds will pass EDP for the lead of the race. Can Ryan Reynolds win the Daytona 500 the day Deadpool and Wolverine comes out? He goes back up to block EDP. And now he'll go back to the bottom lane to block Walter White. He'll lead his first lap of the race. We're on to lap 11. He goes back up to block EDP, trying to block 2 different lanes right now. And now Ryan Reynolds will go back down to block Walter White again. Ryan Reynolds trying to fend off 2 season 1 winners, Walter White and EDP. And Ryan Reynolds is trying to get his first ever win in the Piston Cup Series here today. And the first ever win for Rock Hard Racing. Walter White and the rookie, Hank Harvick, have passed EDP. As they enter turn 3. Ryan Reynolds and Walter White will go down to block Hank Harvick. EDP and John Cena, who were both leading earlier in the race, are now losing a lot of positions here. Ryan Reynolds coming out of turn 4, he lead another lap today. The top 4 of Ryan Reynolds, Walter White, and Hank Harvick and Vaughn Riley are pulling away from the rest of the field as we head to lap 12 of this race. The top 4 move to the top lane. Now Gustavo Frank's going to be the leader on the bottom lane. The top 4 now move right back down to the bottom lane. Hank Harvick and Vaughn Riley in 3rd and 4th. The Crosshair Petronas Patriot Racing teammates will try to pass Walter White and Ryan Reynolds. And Los Polos Hermanos Racing now has Walter White and Gustavo Fring in the top 5. Gustavo Fring goes to the inside of Vaughn Riley. Hank Harvick will follow him down. Will Walter White join his teammate on the bottom lane? Hank Harvick and Walter White side by side for 2nd place. Ryan Reynolds goes to the bottom lane to block Hank Harvick. And now Hank Harvick has passed Walter White for 2nd place. Hank Harvick abandoned his teammate Vaughn Riley in the top lane. And now Walter White and Vaughn Riley are losing positions on the top lane. Gustavo Fring goes to the inside of Hank Harvick. And Ryan Reynolds will abandon Hank Harvick. Gustavo Fring and Hank Harvick side by side for 2nd place. The leaders now entering turn 1, and Ryan Reynolds will go down to block Gustavo Fring, but he doesn't have enough time. Gustavo Fring on the bottom lane, holding his own. Can he take the lead of the Daytona 500 as they come out of turn 2 and on the backstretch, still side by side? And Richard Hammond is looking to make it 3 wide. In an intense battle for the lead here. Can Gustavo Fring take the lead away from Ryan Reynolds? They're now entering turn 3. Both of these drivers are trying to get the very first win of their careers. EDP and John Cena alone on top lane, no one topping them. And Gustavo Fring has passed Ryan Reynolds for the lead of the race. Richard Hammond has also passed him, and now Gustavo Fring goes up to block Ryan Reynolds. Gustavo Fring goes back down to block Richard Hammond. He'll lead his very first lap of Season 2. Gustavo Fring's hoping to not make that his only led lap of Season 2, as now he goes up back to block Ryan Reynolds yet again. And he now goes back to block Richard Hammond. He's trying to block 2 lanes right now for the lead. The top 3 drivers, Gustavo Fring, Richard Hammond, and Ryan Reynolds, all trying to get their first ever wins. They exit turn 2 and on to the backstretch, and Gustavo Fring and Richard Hammond go up to block Ryan Reynolds. This leaves last year's Daytona 500 champion, Soulja Boy, on the bottom lane, with a chance to take the lead of the race as they enter turn 3. And Soulja Boy will pass Ryan Reynolds for 3rd. Richard Hammond tries to block him, but he doesn't do it in time. And Gustavo Fring goes down to block Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy and Richard Hammond side by side for 2nd place, and Soulja Boy has passed Richard Hammond for 2nd place. And now, only 1 car separates Soulja Boy from a back-to-back Daytona 500 wins. Can he do it here as we head to lap 15 of this race? Soulja Boy catching up with Gustavo Fring. Can he get his 3rd career victory as they go up to the top lane? Soulja Boy tries to go to the inside of Gustavo Fring, but Gustavo Fring blocks him. They both go to the bottom lane. Our top 5 is Gustavo Fring in 1st, Soulja Boy in 2nd, Lightning McQueen in 3rd, Jesse Pinkman in 4th, and Richard Hammond is 5th, side by side with Ben Roethlisberger for the final top 5 position. All of the top 4 in the top lane. As Lightning McQueen will go to the inside of Soulja Boy for 2nd place in the race. Can he pass him here? Gustavo Fring goes down to block McQueen. Soulja Boy and McQueen side by side for 2nd place. The 2 of them battled in Miami for the win. Now they're side by side for 2nd place at the Daytona 500. Jesse Pinkman now goes to the inside of Soulja Boy. Gustavo Fring goes down to block Lightning McQueen, and he'll lead us to lap 16. We're now halfway through the race. Anyone can still win this race as McQueen and Gustavo Fring go to the top lane to block Soulja Boy. And they go back down to block Jesse Pinkman. Jesse Pinkman has now passed Soulja Boy for 3rd place in the race, and Ryan Reynolds is alone on the very top lane. Ryan Reynolds was leading at the Daytona 500, and now all of these cars are passing him. Big Ben side by side with Soulja Boy for 4th place. And now Big Ben has passed Soulja Boy for 4th place. The top 3 starting to pull away from the rest of the field as McQueen and Jesse Pinkman will abandon Gustavo Fring and go to his inside. Gustavo Fring's own teammate, Jesse Pinkman, has abandoned him and chose to go with McQueen instead. Gustavo Fring drafted Jesse Pinkman in this draft, and now his own teammate has betrayed him. And now they're side by side for 2nd place. Is there a civil war brewing at Los Polos Hermanos Racing as we head to lap 17? McQueen won at the North Korean GP last year. Can he get his 2nd super speedway win here as he moves to the top lane? They move back down to block Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger side by side with Gustavo Fring for 3rd. And he's now past Gustavo Fring for 3rd. Soulja Boy is now side by side with Gustavo Fring for 4th. And now the top 3 move to the top lane to block Gustavo Fring, Soulja Boy, with another opportunity to pass them here on the bottom lane. Jesse Pinkman in 2nd, Big Ben in third, both trying to get their first ever wins in Percent Cup as Big Ben goes the inside of Jesse Pinkman for second place. Pinkman tried to block Big Ben there, but it doesn't work out for him. They'll be side by side. McQueen is starting to pull away from the rest of the field here. He has a sizable gap to second place. The Los Polos Hermanos teammates, Gustavo Ferrari and Jesse Pinkman, working together on the top lane. Big Ben getting a big push from Soldier Boy. We now head to lap 18 of this race. McQueen will go back down to block Ben Roethlisberger, and Big Ben has passed Jesse Pinkman for second place. Jesse Pinkman now side by side with Soldier Boy for third place in this race. McQueen, Big Ben, and Soldier Boy have all passed Jesse Pinkman. They're all in the top three now. Soldier Boy goes to the inside of Big Ben for second place. They'll be side by side. Big Ben trying to get his first win in the series and the first win for Texas Evasion Racing. Soldier Boy trying to get his third career win. They're side by side for second place. And Soldier Boy has passed Big Ben for second place. McQueen and Soldier Boy in first and second. Soldier Boy has fought his way back to second place, and now yet again, only one car separates him from a back-to-back Daytona 500 victories. McQueen is still leading the race as they go to the inside lane. McQueen and Soldier Boy lead us to lap 19. Big Ben side by side with the Stig for third place. Big Ben and the Stig both trying to get their first career victories and the first ever victories for their team as McQueen and Soldier Boy go to the bottom lane. McQueen and Soldier Boy are pulling away from the rest of the field as the Stig and Big Ben battle for third. Both Tax Evasion Racing and Phantom Motorsports haven't won a single race in Season 1, and that's side by side for third. As Soldier Boy will go to the inside of McQueen for the lead of the Daytona 500, they'll be side by side entering turn 3. Will Soldier Boy finally take the lead of the Daytona 500? Yes, he will. Soldier Boy will take the lead of the race, and he's looking to win back-to-back Daytona 500s. Soldier Boy trying to get his third career victory. If he wins today, all three of his victories will be in the state of Florida. Soldier Boy will lead us to lap 20 of this race. 3 wide for third place between James May, the Stig, and Big Ben. All three of them trying to get their very first win. Big Ben will pass the Stig, and now James May and Big Ben side by side for third. If Soldier Boy wins today, not only will he be the first driver to win at the same track twice, but he'll be the first driver to get 3 wins in his career. James May will go to the inside of McQueen for second place. They'll be side by side going down the backstretch. And Jeremy Clarkson goes down the bottom lane to help his teammate on the bottom lane. Soldier Boy will go down to block the 2 Phantom Motorsports drivers, and for Soldier Boy, he doesn't have a single teammate near him to help him block James May and Jeremy Clarkson. John Cena and Chase Mitzko side by side for 5th place as James May and Soldier Boy go to top lane to block McQueen. They go back down to block Clarkson, and that'll help James May. James May and Clarkson are going to work together here as they move back up to the top lane. The 2 Phantom Motorsports teammates in second and third trying to get their team their first ever victory. They're right behind Soldier Boy for the lead of the race. John Cena passes McQueen for 4th place, and now Big Ben is side by side with McQueen for 5th. Only one car DNF from the Daytona 500 last season, but we have the big one here. Jeremy Clarkson moved to the inside of James May for 2nd place. The 2 teammates side by side for 2nd. John Cena gave Clarkson a huge push. Soldier Boy will abandon James May. Now James May is all alone up there. All these drivers passing him on the inside lane, including his teammate, Jeremy Clarkson. Jeremy Clarkson is willing to do anything to get Phantom Motorsports their first ever victory, including abandoning his own teammate. He goes to the inside of Soldier Boy for the lead of the race. They'll be side by side as we head to lap 22. Clarkson was in the championship race in Season 1, but he has yet to get his first ever victory. But now, he's side by side with Soldier Boy, and he'll take the lead of the Daytona 500. Clarkson's teammate, James May, who he abandoned earlier, is now all alone on the top lane. And for Jeremy Clarkson, he's trying to get his very first win for himself and the very first win for Phantom Motorsports. On the backstretch now, Clarkson has the reigning Daytona 500 champion behind him. As they enter turn 3, Clarkson goes down to block McQueen. He's got 2 super speedway winners right behind him. It's going to be hard to block both of them. McQueen has passed Soldier Boy for 2nd place, and now Cage has passed Soldier Boy for 3rd place. Soldier Boy has gone from 1st to 4th in 1 lap. Clarkson will lead his first lap of Season 2 and of the Daytona 500 as it goes to the bottom lane, and we head to lap 23. Clarkson has less than 10 laps to hold on to if he wants to win his very first race. Oppenheimer side by side with Soldier Boy for 4th. The top 3 move down to block Oppenheimer. Soldier Boy was looking to get his 2nd Daytona 500 victory. That's not looking likely now as Oppenheimer passed him for 4th. Soldier Boy is now side by side with Dylan Elliott for 5th place. Elliott had a horrible season last season, Can he now enter the top 5 here? Oppenheimer goes to the inside of Cage for 3rd place. McQueen goes to the inside of Clarkson for the lead of the race. The two Team USA teammates working together on the bottom lane. 3 of our top 5 drivers, Clarkson, Cage, and Elliott, all trying to get their first ever win. And now Lightning McQueen will regain the lead of the Daytona 500. Oppenheimer and Clarkson side by side for 2nd. McQueen goes up to block Clarkson. And now he'll go back down to block his teammate Oppenheimer. And now Team USA teammates Lightning McQueen and Oppenheimer 1st and 2nd. McQueen will abandon his teammate again and goes back up to block Clarkson yet again. Now McQueen goes back down to block his teammate Oppenheimer again. He's trying to block 2 drivers, Clarkson and Oppenheimer, for getting their first ever victories. McQueen is the only driver in the top 6 who's already gotten a victory before. Everyone else is trying to get their first ever win. McQueen and Oppenheimer go up to block Clarkson. Team USA teammates McQueen, Oppenheimer, and Homelander all in the top 6. Team USA Racing trying to get their 3rd victory of their team history. Elliott and Clarkson side by side for 3rd place. The Mountain Dew versus Fanta car. Cage and Soldier Boy all alone in that top lane. Soldier Boy's hope of back-to-back Daytona 500 victories are fading away. Dylan Elliott passes Clarkson for 3rd, and Lightning McQueen and Oppenheimer, the Team USA teammates, 1-2 as we head to lap 25. As Elliott passes Clarkson for 3rd, and now the Rock is side by side with Clarkson for 4th. As the leaders enter turn 1. The Rock has passed Clarkson for 4th, now AB side by side with Clarkson for 5th. In AP's final Piston Cup Series race. The Rock goes to the inside of Elliott for 3rd place. They'll be side by side. These drivers were 30th and 31st in points last season. Now they're side by side for 3rd place at the Daytona 500. The Rock will pass Dylan Elliott for 3rd. Now he has the 2 Team USA drivers, Oppenheimer and McQueen, are separating him from leading the Daytona 500. Elliott has now fallen out of the top 5 as The Rock will go to the inside of Oppenheimer for 2nd place. And Lightning McQueen will go down to block The Rock, and he abandons his teammate Oppenheimer. The Rock now side by side with Oppenheimer 2nd place. Richard Hammond side by side with Antonio Brown for 4th. And McQueen once again will go down to block The Rock for the lead of the race. And The Rock has passed Oppenheimer for 2nd place. Oppenheimer and AB are now falling out of the top 5. Richard Hammond passes them. EDP passes them. Now Ryan Reynolds is side by side with Oppenheimer. And The Rock goes to the inside of McQueen for the lead of the race. They'll be side by side for the lead of the race as we enter turn 3. The Rock finished 30th in points last season. Can he win the first race of season 2? They're side by side through turns 3 and 4. And The Rock has passed Lightning McQueen for the lead of Daytona 500. And The Rock goes up to block McQueen. The Rock is trying to lead Rock Hard Racing to their first ever Piston Cup Series win. The Rock goes down to block EDP, but he doesn't do it in time. EDP is gaining on him on the inside lane as we head to 6 laps to go. They'll be side by side for the lead. EDP trying to get his 2nd ever win, The Rock trying to get his 1st win. As they enter turn 1, and EDP has passed The Rock for the lead of the race. And the 2 teammates, Ryan Reynolds and The Rock, side by side for 2nd place. And the 2 Team USA teammates, McQueen and Homelander, side by side. EDP and Ryan Reynolds go up to block The Rock, and now that's going to leave the door open for Homelander to take the lead of the race. He's side by side with The Rock for 3rd place. Can he pass Ryan Reynolds and EDP here? And Ryan Reynolds will go down to block Homelander. EDP doesn't block Ryan Reynolds in time. EDP and Ryan Reynolds side by side for the lead of the Daytona 500. And Ryan Reynolds will pass EDP for the lead of the Daytona 500 as we head to 5 laps to go here at Daytona. They're 3 wide for 2nd place. Kevin Harvick on the inside, Homelander in the middle, and EDP on the top lane. Ryan Reynolds goes to block EDP on the top lane. He'll go back down to block Kevin Harvick on the bottom lane, and he isn't able to do it in time. Ryan Reynolds tries to block 3 lanes of traffic, but he immediately fails. Harvick on his inside will pass him for lead of the Daytona 500. Can the rookie win it? And Kevin will go up to block Ryan Reynolds on the top lane. The 2nd overall pick, Kevin Harvick, leading the top lane. And Ryan Reynolds will go to his inside. And the 1st overall pick, Queso, is going to try to help him to take the lead. Ryan Reynolds and Kevin Harvick side by side for the lead of the Daytona 500 as we go through turns 3 and 4. And Ryan Reynolds has passed Kevin Harvick for the lead of the race. In the 2 draft picks, Queso and Kevin Harvick side by side for 2nd place. Queso was selected 1st overall in the draft. Kevin Harvick was selected 2nd overall in the draft, and now they're side by side for 2nd place. The 2 rookies battling it out here as we head to 4 laps to go. Ryan Reynolds goes out to block Kevin Harvick. Will Queso pass Ryan Reynolds on the bottom lane? No, he won't. Ryan Reynolds goes down to block Queso. And EDP is rapidly losing positions. And Queso has passed Kevin Harvick for 2nd place in the Daytona 500. He now only has Ryan Reynolds separating him for a win at Daytona and a win in his very first race. as the two of them go out to block Kevin Harvick. That leaves an opportunity for James May to pass them on the inside lane. He's side by side with Kevin Harvick for third. 5 of our top 6 drivers are trying to look for their very first win, as Ryan Reynolds and Queso will go down to block James May. And James May will pass Kevin Harvick for third place. The top 3, Ryan Reynolds, Queso, and James May, are all looking for their very first win in the Piston Cup Series as we head to 3 laps to go here at Daytona. The top 3 now work together and go up to the top lane to block Kevin Harvick. They now go back down to block Vaughn Riley. Vaughn Riley will pass Kevin Harvick for 4th place. Ryan Reynolds trying to get the first ever win for Rock Hard Racing. Queso trying to get the first ever win for Shot Coin Racing. And James May trying to get the first ever win for Phantom Motorsports. James May goes to the inside of Queso. They'll be side by side for 2nd place in the race. The rookie Queso trying to hold on to 2nd place, but James May has passed him. And James May goes up in 2nd place. Queso now in 3rd. Big Ben now enters the top 5. Can Tax Evasion Racing get their first win? Vaughn Riley trying to get Crosshair Petronas Patriot Racing their 6th ever win. Everyone else in the top 5 trying to get their team's first ever win. Queso and Captain Fat are side by side for 3rd place as we head to 2 laps to go for the Daytona 500. The 2 fattest drivers in the field, Queso and Big Ben, side by side for 3rd. Captain Fat has his teammate, Cage, helping him on the bottom lane to pass Queso for 3rd. The 2 Tax Evasion Racing teammates trying to work together to get their team's first ever victory as Big Ben, the leader of men, has entered the top 3. He goes up to block Queso, Captain Fat, and Queso now working together on top lane. And Cage on the inside lane trying to pass Queso for 4th place. Big Ben will abandon Queso and help his teammate on a bottom lane. Our top 3, Ryan Reynolds, James May, and Big Ben, all trying to get their first ever victories. They're also trying to get the first victories of their team. And Big Ben will go to the inside of James May for 2nd place of the Daytona 500 as we head to 1 lap to go. Here at Daytona, can Ryan Reynolds fend both of them off? Ryan Reynolds goes up to block James May on the top lane. Ryan Gosling goes to the inside of Cage for 4th place, and now Ryan Reynolds goes down to block Big Ben. Can Ryan Reynolds and Ryan Gosling get a 1-2 at Daytona? As Big Ben will pass James May for 2nd place, Ryan Gosling now side by side with James May for 3rd. As they enter the backstretch, and Big Ben will go out to block James May. Can Big Ben pass Ryan Reynolds for his first ever victory in the Piston Cup Series as they now enter turn 3? Ryan Gosling side by side with James May for 3rd place, and Big Ben goes down to block him. Ryan Reynolds a full car length ahead of Big Ben as the leaders come off of turn 4 and onto the front straightaway for the final time. One day after the release of Deadpool and Wolverine, Ryan Reynolds will get his first ever victory in the Piston Cup Series. Ryan Reynolds, the Canadian driver, wins the Great American Race.
You're welcome, Canada.
I'm not sure I can actually process what happened tonight. I'm still a little speechless.
Ryan Reynolds becomes the first Canadian to win the Piston Cup Series. His teammate Ryan Gosling finishes in 3rd, and for Ryan Reynolds, he gets the first ever victory for Rock Hard Racing. Big Ben finishes in 2nd place. He almost got the first win for Tax Evasion Racing. Antonio Brown will now officially retire from the Piston Cup Series.
Antonio Brown, that's Antonio Brown without his uniform, we are told, without his jersey.